A year ago, I improvised a documentary in rural Kenya while spending time with family, and it sparked something inside me. Environmental portraits and short documentaries are the work I keep coming back to. If you want to know what your real passion is, look at what you do with your free time. So I decided to level up and create a hybrid series, combining photoshoots with mini documentaries. Well, I just wrapped my first project with an Argentinian artist in his Paris workshop. And let me tell you, the reality hit hard. But the lessons I learned might be exactly what you need to hear. I've been following Mark Bone and Luke Forsyth for tips. It feels like if you want to make it as a documentary filmmaker on YouTube, you have to live in Canada. But after 20 years in rainy Belgium, if anything, I'm heading south. Anyway, they're great for inspiration, but they mainly speak to aspiring professionals who have access to crews and rental budgets for cinema cameras and heavy-duty lighting setups. That's not my reality. I wanted to explore what is actually possible for a solo creator with modest gear. I don't even have an FX3, which is the starting point on Sony's cinema line. Just my Sony ZV-E1, a vlogging camera, a wireless microphone, the DJI Mic 2, and a couple of video lights with soft boxes. I will leave a link to what I use in the description, but it is equipment that fits in a backpack, not a production van. With today's technology, gear is not the limiting factor. Any skilled filmmaker could do wonders with my equipment, so I'm leaning into my journalism background and storytelling instincts, while I try to gradually improve my filmmaking skills. Good documentaries need compelling characters, but how do you find them when you don't have a production team? I defined a clear theme: documenting the working spaces of creators. A simple Instagram search led me to Pablo's workshop in Paris. #Atelier Paris. At least living in Belgium has taught me French. I got in touch with Pablo and we had a video call. It helped me understand his vision as an artist, his process, and his working space. The evening before the shot, I met him briefly to scout the location. That gave me the chance to think my shooting priorities ahead of time. My name is Jose Alcoy, and on these channels I share tips on documentary filmmaking and photography. Subscribe and get my free photo and video release form. The link is in the description. I was really in my element on the shoot day. I started with general footage of Pablo, using his camera, editing in Photoshop, all part of his creative process. Then we moved into the interviews and finished strong with a full demonstration of the aquatint process. But once I got back home, I found myself drowning in the edit. There was a lot of footage, a long interview, and honestly, I started procrastinating. It felt overwhelming. I used DaVinci Resolve to transcribe the interview and I printed it out. I think better on paper. I highlighted the parts with potential for a rough cut. And then I got to work. I built the opening sequence first, mixing interviews and B-roll, and then I kept adding scenes, making sure the story stayed clear and kept moving forward. But life gets in the way. It took me a month and a half just to finish a 3-minute piece. I work a full-time job and my time is limited. And I want to be able to do photo sessions more often, because at the end of the day, that's the backbone of my long-term project. What I've realized is that trying to make a short documentary with every photoshoot was too ambitious. So I've made the difficult but necessary decision to separate the two projects. I still would like to produce a couple of short documentaries every year, but documentary work deserves proper planning, extended shooting periods, and serious time for editing. If there is one thing that I have learned with this project, is to focus on emotions rather than facts. As a journalist, I tend to fall on fact-finding questions. cartoons. But that's too dry for a documentary. The most powerful moments in this piece weren't about information. They were about feelings, about the character's motivation. That's what really connects with the viewer. And that's exactly what Pablo shared during the interview.
Si una obra no transmite emoción, sea la que sea, no está terminada, no tiene sentido.
So don't forget to download my free photo and video release form in the description. Hit that subscribe button for more content on no-budget documentary filmmaking and environmental portrait photography. I've also put together a playlist with the gear I use, and you can also watch my 2 short documentaries here. I'm proud of them.